Today we're going to be looking at the FPR technique for the OA and AA. The concept uses the same three key principles. First, the axial spine will have its natural curvature flattened or neutralized. In this case, the cervical lordosis will be flattened by providing traction and reduction of that cervical lordosis. The second component is that there's an axial force applied, whether that is compression or traction. Finally, the third component being a positioning of the vertebral unit being targeted into its position of freedom. We'll start with the OA. In this example, we'll say that the OA's diagnosis is flexed, side bent right, and rotated left. To begin, my left hand I'm going to place on the occiput. And when I provide just a little bit of traction from the occiput into the cervical spine, you can see I can quickly flatten the upper portion of the cervical spine's lordosis, allowing that first component of flattening the curve to occur. With my right hand, I will apply an axial compression into the head gently to the level of the OA. Not a lot of force is required to reach the OA. Then the final component is to position them into their diagnosis or position of freedom. In this case, there'll be some right side bending at the OA, left rotation, and flexion. Maintaining this approximately 3 to 5 seconds allows the body to then release and return to neutral. As that occurs, can then position with maintained axial compression back to neutral, and then release the axial compression and the flattening of the cervical lordosis. Moving on to the AA joint, we'll say in this case that the diagnosis is rotated left. Again, the left hand can be used to provide minimal amount of traction on the occiput, producing flattening of the cervical lordosis at the level of the AA. The right hand can be used to provide axial compression again through the head to the level of the AA, which is just a little bit lower than the previous level for the OA. Now, the diagnosis being rotated left, we position his AA into its position of freedom or diagnosis by rotating this vertebral unit to the left, its position of freedom. Again, 3 to 5 seconds of maintaining this. The body's response will be a release and a return to neutral function and structure. We can follow that, maintaining that axial compression. Once reaching neutral, release the axial compression and the flattening of the cervical lordosis and reassess.